Okay, so today we're doing Math Notes 15, graphing basic graphs. And we need this lesson in order to do future lessons. We're going to be graphing lines and other shapes. So today we're not going to graph lines. Today we're going to graph a few different shapes. So I'm going to show you what they look like. Okay, so we're going to start with the table of values. So y equals x squared is the most popular graph in Algebra 1 and Algebra 2, besides lines. And lines we're going to start at 9:30 when we get back. Okay, so for -2, what you're going to do is you're going to substitute -2 in where the x is. So you're going to put -2, you're going to put y equals -2 and then squared. When you substitute in negatives, you have to put a parentheses. You could think of it as protecting the negative, but you do have to put it in like that. And this would be y equals -1 squared. So what I'm doing is I'm substituting each one where the x is. So it's like you have y equals x squared. It's kind of like what you were doing in the very last homework we were doing in the last step. So it's like you're cutting out the x and you're putting these numbers in its place. So you're putting a -2 right there, you're putting a -1, you're putting a 0, you're putting a 1, you're putting a 2, and you're putting it right there where the x used to be. Okay, so that's what I'm writing over here. Okay, and then we're going to work it out. Usually when they're positives, people don't put the parentheses, but you're allowed to put the parentheses. On the 0, you don't have to put the parentheses, but anything that has a negative, you do have to put the parentheses there. And then a reminder, we'll put a little reminder over here. Okay, a reminder is 4 to the second power means 4 times 4. So that would be 16. Okay, so 3 to the second power, it doesn't mean 3 times 2, it means 3 times 3, which is 9. Okay, so -2 to the second power means -2 times -2. Okay, Franz, can you tell me what -2 times -2 is? Perfect. Okay, so +4, so that's going to be right here, +4. You can put the positive or you could just put the 4. This one is -1 times -1, which is +1. 0 times 0. Anyone? What's 0 times 0? Uh-huh. Okay. Thelma, what's 1 times 1? Uh-huh. And then 2 times 2 would be 4. Okay, so I'm going to put these in. So -1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, and 2, 4. And you know what last year we started with? Last year we started with just graphing points and not graphing full graph. But we'll practice our graphing point while we're graphing this. Because last year we had 6 weeks. I just taught them in the morning. I taught my students 2.5 hours in the morning, and then Miss Tebow would have them 2.5 hours in the afternoon. So, because we weren't doing distance learning, it's a little different. So I think this will well prepare you if we do graphing all this week and then the things that we were doing last week and the week before. I think you're going to be really set up for what's going on in the fall. Okay, so underneath this, can you extend this line just a little bit? Okay, and what I want you to put is L/R right here, and then U/D right here. So when you're graphing a point, so what you're going to be graphing is you're going to be graphing this point. So you're going to be graphing the point -2, 4. Okay, so that's this first coordinate right here, -2, 4. Now, the first coordinate, the -2, okay, you don't have to highlight this, but I'm going to highlight it. So this -2, this -2 is a left-right. So would -2 be left or be right? Oh, and Thelma, you were right in the first place. It was 1. Okay, so what's wouldn't, yeah, negatives left. Okay, so this is left 2 when you're graphing a regular point. And the 4 has to be an up or a down. So I'll highlight it right here so you could see it. But the 4 has to be an up or a down. So would that be an up or would that be a down? It depends on positive or negative. So when you're doing stairs, is positive up or down? Yes, so the 4 is going to be up. Up 4. Down will be negative. Okay, so the underneath my yellow highlighting where it says L/R, I'm going to put a little negative sign for the L and a positive sign for the R. Okay, and then for the up down, the up is the positive and the down is the negative. Okay, that's when you're graphing individual coordinates. Okay, so let me show you how to graph this shape. Okay. Now, when you graph in my class, I do need you to make each square worth 1. Okay, so like this one, this is where 1 will go. And then this is where 2 will go. Okay, and then I don't need you to go all the way up to 10. Okay, just put 1, 2, 3 on the right side. Okay, and you're going to put 1, 2, 3 up. And that's all you have to label for me, except it's nice to label numbers you get. So I'll show you how that works. Okay, but let's go back and down. But I think we're going to go with the 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 for now. And then I'll show you how I usually label for graphing. Okay, but for now, let's just do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So get your graph ready. Okay, write ready if you're ready with your graph. Not that you've graphed any points on it, but just that your graph is ready. Hi, puppy. So type ready when your graph is ready with the 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then the little lines. Okay, I need 3 more people on the ready. 2 more people because Paul's not here. So let's see, I have 7. Missing. Zyla, how's your graph coming? Almost ready? Last one missing though. Anyone can tell? Let me look at my list. I don't see it. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8. Brandon. I see you, Brandon. Brianna, you're the first one, right? Carissa. Emily. Franz, I saw. Jabriel, I thought I saw you. I did. Paul's not here. Thelma. Thelma, are you ready? Thelma, are you almost ready? I walked away for a second. Because usually Thelma responds pretty well. Okay, so -2, 4. So Thelma, are you close by? How's your graph coming? Okay, so I wish you could see. That's why I want to use the document camera later. I feel like if you could see my pen, it would be better. I don't think there's a way that lets you see my pen. What's this button? What's that stop button? No, I don't think that's anything. Okay. So we'll see. We'll see if it makes sense to you. So I'm going to show it in red, but don't draw it in red. Okay. So I'm starting, and don't draw the dots I'm drawing. I don't think you guys can see that. Oh, you can kind of. No, because I'm looking at my computer screen to see what you guys can see. You can kind of see here. Oh yeah. Do you see my dots that I'm drawing randomly? These red dots? Okay. You're not going to draw those red dots, but it's going to help you follow what I'm doing, and way better on the document camera. So we'll see if we can get improved by 9:30. Okay, so do you see where this red dot is? I'm at 0, 0. Okay, then I'm going to go left 1, and now I'm at -1. And then I need to go left 2. Okay, so I'm right there. I'm at left 2. And then it says go up 4. So from here, I'm going up 1, up 2, up 3, up 4. And then this is where my actual dot is. I don't know, maybe that's not too bad. So you could see what my path is. So you don't have to draw the dots, except the big dot. But I'm trying to figure out how I can communicate to you what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm going to erase those dots. We'll see how this is going to work. Okay. And Thelma, are you here? Thelma? Okay, is your graph ready? Oh, okay, because you never put ready. Okay, so let's graph the next point. So this is the next point. Okay, so let's write it down here. -1, 1. Okay, so what would the -1, which direction? Thelma, we were writing ready when your graph was ready, but you must have walked away for a little while because we were just making sure that your graph was drawn and I wasn't going too fast. That's okay, Thelma, it's no problem. Okay, so the -1, which way would that be? Would that be left or right? Oh, okay, so Thelma, she came back strong here. Left 1. And then what about the, I'm writing it under the coordinate, the -1, 1. And then what about the 1 in the coordinate? Anyone? What would the 1 do? Yes, I agree, Fran. So that would be up 1. Okay, so I'm going to show you with my red dots again. So I'm starting here at the origin, and then I go left 1, and then from there I go up 1, and then I'm done. So I put a dot right there. So left 1, up 1. I did cover my 1. Okay, so 0, 0 is right here in the middle. Right? Wouldn't that be where 0, 0 is? Okay, so then we need the point 1, 1 and 2, 4. I'm getting these points from these in the list. See all these coordinates? I'm writing them in parentheses. Usually you don't write them separately in parentheses. You just leave them in the table. But I'm kind of reviewing graphing points at the same time as graphing the table. That's why. Okay, so 1, 1. What direction would 1, 1 go? What direction would 1, 1 go? Yes, I agree. I'm going to put right first. Right 1, up 1. But she's correct. Right 1, up 1. So right 1, up 1, and then that's the one where I leave my dot. And then what about 2, 4? Where would 2, 4 go? And start with right or left first. 2 right. So right 2 and then up 4. Okay, so how you're going to do that is you start at the 0, 0. Let me start with green so you can see it better. So you start with 0, 0, and then you go to the right. So there's my next green dot. Then there's my next green dot, and I want to go to the right 2. And then I'm over here at the 2. I don't know if you could see the green. And then up 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then that's where you put your dot, except I wasn't red. Whatever color you're using is fine. Now this shape is actually going to be a U shape. Okay, so put U shape. I try to label the graphs by their letters of the alphabet. Okay, and so this is a U shape. It's called a parabola. So you don't want it to look too pointy. Okay, so at the bottom, you want to make it look like a U. Okay, so you want to make it look like a U at the bottom, not a V. Okay. And then you connect it up here. And usually you pass the dots you have. And there's more dots. We just aren't graphing them all. And then if we draw an arrow at the end, I usually try to draw an arrow at the end. Okay, but this one's not supposed to be a V. It's supposed to be a U. Did Paul come yet? No, not yet. Thelma, you shouldn't be submitting things right now. You should be paying attention to what we're doing. Because Thelma, I just got an email that said you submitted something. Okay, you can submit that during the break. Oh, was it? And it just came in? Oh, okay. Take that. No, that makes sense. Okay. Okay, let's ready for the next graph. Everybody has that one? There's only we're gonna just start with 2 examples today during this first break. I mean this first part. Okay. Okay. So ready for the next one? So example 2, we're going to graph this one, y equals absolute value of x. And then let me just write in the regular color, y equals absolute value of x. So those are 2 vertical bars. Okay, so this is an absolute value graph. Okay, and over here to the right, let me tell you some reminders. Absolute value of -4, absolute value of 4, absolute value of -1, absolute value of 0. Okay, so what do you think? What's the absolute value? Do you remember what absolute value meant for us to do from middle school? Anyone remember what absolute values were? Yes, I agree. So the absolute value, if it's a number inside, it doesn't work with an X, okay? But if it's a number inside, the absolute value of a negative number is the same as the positive number. So -4, you change it to a +4. So as Fran said, if it's negative on the inside, then it becomes positive on the outside. Now, what if it's positive on the inside? Yes, it stays the same. It stays positive. Perfect. So you guys remember this. And then absolute value of -1 would be what? +1. And then absolute value of 0 would be 0. You could put +0. Okay. And then someone told me, I don't know if this helps you, but somebody told me these are the shower. They told me -4, this is dirty. So when you come out of the shower, you're clean. Positive's clean, I guess. So what if you go in the shower and you're clean? Do you come out dirty? No, you still come out clean. One of my students, I don't know, 10 years ago told me that. And I thought, okay, if you have trouble remembering. It only works with numbers though. Okay. So let's put the bars behave differently if there's an X instead of a number. Okay. And I don't think I'm going to teach you that this summer. Most of you are not going to have me. There's a small chance some of you might have me this year. Probably not though, because I don't teach the class that you're going to be taking. And then what was I going to say? Oh, so I don't want to teach you my way of doing this one technique because I believe the introduction to algebra teachers teach it differently. And so I want you to learn their way and not my way. My way's nothing special. It's just the way that I think about it. And it's better to learn it the way your teacher does it. Okay. So, but not the graphing, but I'm just saying that the X thing. Okay. So let's make a table. We're going to pick the same numbers. And we're going to put this number inside the absolute value bars. Then you're going to put this number inside the absolute value bars. This number inside the absolute value bars. And then this number inside the absolute value bars. Okay. So what is the absolute value of -2? What's the absolute value of -2? Okay, Zyla, can you tell me what the absolute value of -1 is? Oh, okay. So Zyla, can you do the next one for me? What's the absolute value of -1? So the absolute value of -1, Zyla, you want to make it the same number but positive. So Zyla, what would the absolute value of -1 be? It's the same exact number but positive. So what would the absolute value of -1 be? And don't worry if you get it wrong. Remember, we learn from our mistakes. So Zyla, I just need an answer. What's the absolute value of -1? So, perfect. Positive one. Yep. Okay, Brandon, what's the absolute value of 0? Yep. Jabriel, what's the absolute value of 1? You would think so, right? Look over here at our at the right where it says shower. Okay, so if you go into the shower clean, which is positive, when you step out of the shower, it's still clean. So the absolute value doesn't mean to change the sign. It means make your answer positive. Okay, so Jabriel, why don't you try again? So absolute value of 1. Yeah, which is weird because it doesn't change anything. So it's very strange. So let's put a little message here that says stays the same if positive. Okay. So if it's positive, the answer is the same, but you're like, I'm supposed to do something with it. So you feel like doing something. Okay. So anyone else? What's the absolute value of 2? Yep. And then we're going to graph these. Oh, we have to put the answers over here on the left side. So I'm filling in the table. Okay, so look at my table. And then at the bottom of your table, you're going to put LR and UD. Okay, and then we're not going to have all the points separate like we did in the last question. So we're not going to draw them all separate. Oops. Let's just put it next to it. So negative means L. Negative means L. 0 means don't do anything. So I probably go right 0. My little R's not showing up though. Oh, you guys, I wrote something on my tablet and it's not showing up on my computer. That's not good. Uh-oh. Okay, let me, I'm in though. Okay, let me go out and in. Okay, so hold on. Let me go stop presenting and then let me re-present. Present screen. Let's see. Let's see if you can see it now. Okay, let me get over to my, can you see where I wrote R0? Okay, good. So do you see where I put LL? LL is left, left, right. And then what about the 1 and the 2 below it? Do positives go right or do positives go left? Do positives go right or do positives go left? Exactly. So this would be right 1 and then right 2. Okay, and then what about the Y values? The Y values are up or down. So I'll write this in red just so you can see it, but there's no reason for it to be in red. So I'm looking at this 2 right here. I just circled it in red so you could see it. Would that be up or down? Because the second column, the Y, is always up or down. It can't be left or right. It's always up or down. So is that 2 an up or a down? Yeah, that's an up. The 1? The 0? I like to put a direction, but up 0 would just mean, I could put up 0 or down 0. It just means go up, but don't go anywhere up. Just stay. But stay in an up direction, not a left, right. Okay. And then 1 is what? Aren't they all up? Right, because there's no negatives? Okay, so let's graph this one. Okay, and then I'm going to have you upload this right away. Okay, so we don't have a homework yet associated with this one, but I'm going to need you to upload the notes right away. Okay, so we're going to do 1, 2, 3. We're going to do 1, 2, 3. And that's all you have to label, except then just put another few lines. Okay, and I'll zoom in here for you guys if you want. That's it. And make sure they're on the lines of the graph paper. Make sure they're on the lines of the graph paper. So prepare your graphs, and then you can graph your dots. So -2, 2. I'm looking at the first row. Okay, so I'm looking at the first row, and I start in the middle. So I'm putting just a red dot there so you could see where I'm starting. And then it says, sorry, my thing's slipping. Okay, I'm going left 2. So 1, 2. And then from there, it says go up 2. So up 1, up 2. And then you put your dot. Okay. And then you don't have to actually draw those other dots. I'm just doing that so that you can see my path. And the next point is -1, 1. So that means start at 0, 0, left 1, up 1. And then put that. Okay, 0, 0 is start at 0. Don't go right, don't go up. Put a dot. Okay, and then right 1, up 1, right 1, up 1. And then starting back at 0, 0, right 2, and then up 2. Then put that. What letter of the alphabet does this one look like? Yeah, it looks like a V. And actually, I'm going to circle in red and highlight the V in absolute value to help you remember. I wrote in the word where I wrote absolute value in example 2. So it looks like a V the whole way, actually. If you kept putting more numbers in your table. Okay, so that is the end of what, MN15? Those 2 examples. So let me let me upload the assignment so that you can put it in. Okay, so let me do that right now. Let's see, here's my Google Classroom. Oh, and then we'll stop the recording. Let's see, stop recording. Okay, so Math Bridge, classwork, reuse post. This is notes, MN15. So MN15, there are 2 examples and 5 points. Due date is now by, we're going to say by 9:15 a.m. Okay. And that's it. There we go. And those of you who are missing notes, can you upload all the notes during this first break?